Here's a beautiful, beautiful Parker shotgun. Made around 1895. See if I can get it a little bit clearer than that. It's got the Damascus barrels, 30-inch. If you could see it, let me see if I can focus it in here better for you. Might be able to see it. It's got the beautiful, there you go. It's got the beautiful Damascus coloring on the rib here. Okay. Of course, the barrels have been not properly maintained. You can see there's some surface, I guess, discoloration of rust coloration, I would call it. It's not actual rust going through the barrels or anything. It's just the way these old shotguns used to be if they weren't stored properly. Even on this side, you could see all the brown rust discolorations, I guess, if you want to call it. You know, you could take some really, really fine steel wool, but then you're going to start to really clean this up too much, and you don't want to do that. I know I've done it on some of my old shotguns, and I was okay with that, but this one I don't want to do it. If I did do it, I probably just did it lightly. And, oops, sorry about that. But just so that it doesn't rust. See if I can get the receiver. There you go. So it does have the two geese in flight. There we go. On this side, it's a little worn, of course. They're right here in the circle. And then it has the Parker Brothers. There you go. It's a little better, I guess. It has some case coloring left, as you could see. The bluing, which is nice. It is all matching serial numbers. Let me go here on the bottom of the receiver. You could see some case coloring, say. This is an F model. There you go. You could see some of the engraving. You could see the goose inside of a circle, I guess. And there's the case coloring. I guess the clouds actually kind of bring the case coloring out. Gives it a little bit more blue, I guess, if you want to call it. Everything's matching, like I said. It's got the nice checkering forearm. That's matching forearm. So let's take this off. There you go. So you can see the bottom here of the Damascus. And you can see the case coloring here with the nitrite screws. See how blue they are, the screws? It's always funny how underneath the forearm, the iron, a lot of times it's like brand new, you know. It's very protected. There you go. And then, of course, on the outside of the firearm, you don't really have hardly any blue left, which is funny. That's the way it goes. Alright, so there's engraving here. And of course your silver medallion. Now the butt and the stock here with the butt plate, I don't believe it's an original, but it might be. Usually around this date, 1890 or 95, they usually have the retriever with a duck in its mouth. This one doesn't have a duck in its mouth, so it could have been replaced. I'm not quite sure. It's possible. The wood's in nice shape. It just, of course, has some nicks and scratches and whatever. The checkering still nice. No cracks up here. I didn't see any cracks whatsoever on this stock. Can't go wrong with a Parker, you know. Parkers are always really, really nice. I don't think they're getting as much money as they used to. Because if you look at something like this, and they used to call this, well, they still do, not used to, This is an F model, I guess, if you want to call it, but it's a grade 2 because of the engraving. It's not your average Parker, you know, at the low end. I think it was like $80 to $100 at the time when it was sold in 1895. So it was a lot of money back then. You know, a lot of money. So, but I think there's 2 or 3 grades below this. Is a Vulcan model, which I think was the cheapest. And that's just a plain Jane Parker shotgun. And I would try to dismantle this thing, but I think it's going to be, well, let's try it. So if I take the foregrip off, give me a second. All right, hold on. Put you over here. All right, there we go. Got to do that with 2 hands. Can't do it with 1. So there you go. So you can see some of the case hardening up on the inside of the receiver here. Back where the firing pins are really good shape. So it's a nice shotgun. And considering it's a little bit better grade than your standard Parkers. But of course I could never ever afford a grade 8 or 6 or 5 or 3. You know, they're very expensive. They're not coming down on those. Something like this you could pick up anywhere from $400 to $1,500, I think, depending on who's selling it or whatever. But I've seen them right now, believe it or not, $1,800 to $2,200 for something like this in this condition in this year, which I think is just way too much money. You know, I don't think anybody's going to pay $2,000 for this thing. Probably at the most right now, which is really limited on collectors buying Parkers, you know, with the young generation, and they're not really interested in these old guns, you know. I mean, not the quality anymore. They're interested in this Chinese crap shit or anything that's built like cheap, and not necessarily built cheap, I guess. It's more in a so where they want light. They want a light firearm, and then they wonder why it kicks like a son of a bitch. You know, you buy some double barrel or pump shotgun that's made out of polymer stocks with an alloy barrels, you know, that's lined with alloy or something, or steel. But it's like, I think this probably weighs 8 or 9 pounds, right? Maybe 8 pounds or so. But then you got like a 3-pound shotgun. It'll kick you on your ass, you know, and then they wonder why. Oh, why does this thing kick so much? Oh, I don't know. Because it only weighs fucking 3 pounds, dude. You know, or they can't, when they're shooting at a target, they can't, you know, they wonder why they're to the left or to the right or whatever. This thing's right on, man. You know, you throw a bottle up in the air, you can hit it. You know, a clay target, boom, done, hit it. So you can even put a rubber butt pad on here if you want, just to, you know, protect your shoulder. And that's when you got a nice shotgun. But it's got weight. So you can imagine carrying this thing in the field, you know. But this is over 100 years old now. That's why it's still around. Look at these other shotguns that are out there. Let's see if they're still around in 100 years. Highly doubt it. Well, technically, if we're still around in 100 years, the way things are going, you probably won't be around, you know. All right. I'm still rambling, but there you go. 1895 Parker shotgun. I think I call it a Model F. It just has an F on the inside of the receiver there, like right down in there. And it is, I guess, a grade 2. Just a really nice shotgun. And to finish on what I was saying about how much they're worth, nobody's going to get $2,000 for these right now. I would say probably anywhere from $600 to $900 in this condition, in this model. You're lucky if you get $900, but there's always a buyer out there, I guess, but it'll be hard to find them now. Here you go. I think I have 2 or 3 Parker shotguns, maybe 2, no, maybe 3. I can't remember. It's bad enough I can't remember what I have, right? So I'll make a video on the 2 or 3 that I have together, and I'll show you the differences. I think the other one's in 1890, and I think the other one might be in 1903 or 1905. So they're pretty much all the same, but of course one has a little bit more engraving than the others. All right, have a good one. Be safe again. Take care.